What's up, Canada? This is Etienne from Signatures, and I'm just checking in on you. How are you? Do you know what day it is today? It is Thursday, May 7th. A public service announcement: we are 3 short days away from Mother's Day. The Canadian handmade community was hit hard by cancellations of spring shows all across Canada. So I'm thinking Mother's Day is the perfect opportunity to support that Canadian handmade community. I am urging everyone, if you haven't done so, please consider shopping Canadian handmade. You feel good about what you buy. Your items, your pieces that you buy are guaranteed to be made with love. And you're supporting local small businesses, so your money stays in your community. It's really a no-brainer, people. Shop Canadian handmade for Mother's Day. You can head to our website, signatures.ca/artisans, to browse hundreds of Canadian artisans selling thousands of Canadian handmade items that are perfect for mom. Thank you for letting me ramble about that. I would also like to thank Natasha Patterson and her strapping dog, Baron, for joining us on the show on Tuesday. I really enjoyed talking shop with her and swapping stories about the craft show lifestyle. So make sure to tap the link in our bio to view all previous episodes of Just Checking In on our YouTube channel. Now, our guests today are #couple goals. Their work in pottery is as cheerful as they are in real life. Speaking with them always brightens my day, and I hope that it brightens yours today too. Very excited to check in on Blair and Sarah Dawes from Salty Sea Dog Designs. So let's bring them in now. Oh,
Are we blushing already?
Was that a good intro? Did I?
Yeah, that was really great.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Turn up my volume. Turn up my volume here. Can you say something else?
Hello, checking in. Just checking in.
Awesome.
Episode 12, I think.
Woo, good for you.
Thank you. Okay, let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. Blair, death, taxes, and Leafs again not winning the Stanley Cup this year. 53-year drought. My question is...
I'm really bummed because this was the year.
No, it wasn't. Definitely not the year.
So when are you going to start cheering for a real team, Blair?
I do. I've got them on lock. It's okay. You who has the issue.
Let's not go there.
I have it written in a book somewhere that we wrote like years and years ago that 2019
I actually made a bet.
Was the year that the Leafs were going to win the cup, and if Blair hadn't won, he'd eat his hat. And I think we're making hats for dinner.
I actually said they were going to win the cup within 5 years, and we wrote it down and everything.
This was the year.
And this is the year, but it looks like, I don't know. It's an unfinished season, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. There's a bit of disappointment there because there's no closure. Maybe we'll see hockey in the summer. I don't know.
I'm hoping so.
I'm hoping so,
it'd be nice.
Too.
It'd be nice.
Listen, guys, I also wanted to show off this collector's item.
Ooh, original!
Yes.
Cool.
I found this in Tina's cupboard this morning. She actually has two. She has this one and another one that's like a blue monster. And awesome. I don't think you guys sold this at our show, right?
No.
I don't think so. I think they were...
I'm guessing that they probably found it before we found you.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool to think about.
Yeah.
So, guys, all things considered, how are you guys doing these days?
Good. It's been busy.
Yeah, we keep saying nothing has changed for us. Our day-to-day routine really is very similar. We walk the dog every morning, then we head down to the studio and create. But for some reason, we feel just exhausted and busier than ever. So I don't know if it's mental fatigue, but in reality, like, it's all the same for us.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's good. Sorry, I'm all thrown off by the fact that we're starting an hour early this today.
Been up since 6.
Yeah.
I've unloaded kilns, loaded other kilns.
So you guys are still feeling the online sale love?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, people have been really incredible. Like, the amount of support that this community has shown us has been, like, so heartwarming.
Yeah, it's been incredible. It's and it's people, like, the stories people send in with things and stuff. It's just been amazing. Like, they're supporting like crazy. So
I love it.
It's been incredible.
Have you guys found any time to sort of explore new ideas during this weirdness?
Yeah,
totally.
I'm actually, like, wearing our, like, first ever T-shirt design. I can't tell if you can see it, but we were able to collaborate with another company to, like, test some waters of an apparel line. So we're going to work on that a bit. We've actually been exploring old designs in a way. So we're going to release some limited runs of well-loved old mugs that we don't bring out anymore.
Yes.
And definitely we have a lot of ideas that we're working on for sure.
Yeah, new designs to try and figure out, and I've been playing around with some things. It's kind of been nice to have a little bit of time to kind of try some new things, and I think that's kind of leading to some new designs and some new things. I'm not sure quite what's coming out yet, but it's been trying to figure stuff out. So
that sounds very exciting.
Don't have enough time.
Very exciting. I always love walking by your booth, Blair, when you're sketching, because you seem to have some pretty wacky ideas from time to time.
Every once in a while, something weird comes out. Yeah, we tried to do a couple of different mugs. There's one, the one that I would love to do is that axolotl, which is a really weird one, and most people don't know what it is. It's like a little salamander. Well, little, like, they get big, but
they start like this big,
and it's like a weird salamander thing. It's awesome. Our friends actually have one, so. But yeah, it's nice to do weird designs and weird animals and things like that. So.
Do you guys often do, like, one-of-one designs for close friends and family?
No, our studio really can't equip any sort of, like, custom work. We do have design, like, we've tried out way more designs you actually see. So there are one-offs there, but we're so pressed for time as it is. Like, this medium, our biggest downfall is definitely physical amount of time. So that's the only way we get a one-off.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is because of this question that was sent in. Are you able to put Kenzie's face on a mug?
Oh, goodness.
maybe a drawn one day.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe we could do that.
Blair will sketch up a little.
So, Kenzie, that's a hard maybe. Nice.
That's a hard maybe.
Good job on being first today, by the way.
Yeah.
So you guys took a really cool, well, it looked cool on Instagram, a really cool trip to Europe at the beginning of the year. And that was before, like, right before all the craziness happened.
Right before.
It was crazy. It was just starting while we were there.
We were actually in Paris the day that they announced their first case in Paris.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
And it was crazy. It was, it hadn't really hit. You could see everything starting to happen, but it wasn't really on the radar yet.
Yeah.
And I think we got back about 2 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 weeks before
everything started
shut down.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You guys were actually in France at the same time. My parents were in France for their big.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's awesome. They had to come home, right?
They had to cut their trip short, unfortunately, but we're glad that they're safe and sound. And Tina and I had a trip scheduled next week. Like, we were supposed to leave for Glasgow next Tuesday.
Oh no!
Yeah,
you'll get there after everything's done.
For sure. Yeah, lots of family there, so the beds will be there. You know.
Yeah.
In the future.
It's just everything's delayed a little bit. We'll get back to the new normal with things.
It'll make you appreciate it more when you get there to know, like, how easily it could be taken away and things change.
Yeah, but what were the highlights for you guys from that trip?
Oh man,
Pints?
Pints and pints.
Yeah, we had lots of pints.
And wine, and it was really interesting. It was a really different trip. So when we got there, we started off in Barcelona, and we got there, and it was like the biggest storm in 40 years.
Yeah, the
Right.
biggest storm they've had.
It was insane. The flight in was good until the last 20 minutes, and then it was crazy flying in. Trees were uprooted. Umbrellas in every garbage.
So many dead umbrellas like
Yeah.
littering the streets and the garbage cans because the wind would just like take them and people would abandon them.
Yeah.
Like forget it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy, and the rain for the first couple days was nuts. The beaches, like all of the water had actually, or sorry, the sand had pushed into all the streets.
Yeah, like I would say half a kilometer up past the beach was now beach. So all shops were closed. It was a very interesting trip actually because we were in very off season. So a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants were closed. So we really feel like we really experienced like kind of a more authentic sort of version of what some little European towns were. But I think that my highlight for the trip was probably Carcassonne. I don't know if you know this about Blair very much, but he absolutely loves like knights and castles and all that type of culture. So I wasn't expecting much myself personally, but being able to see Blair experience like the castle was
awesome.
pretty amazing.
It was like an entire day. So it was because it was off season. It was shut down with a lot of stuff, but we had basically the whole medieval city to ourselves.
Yeah.
There was nobody else in this. We could walk around and like every corner you could take pictures like crazy, and nobody was in them. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Trip of a lifetime.
Then,
sounds like.
Oh, it was.
Really
and
incredible.
Normandy was another bucket list one for me. It was incredible. London, as always, amazing. Paris was really fun to explore. So yeah, highlight wise, it was pretty hard. But I think if I had to pick a place, I think Carcassonne.
That's so cool.
Was one of my favorites.
Did it feel strange, like being on vacation? Because you guys were
totally, totally.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird sometimes trying to shut off. And I'm working on another kind of project with things, and I thought, oh, it'll be, I'll just have some time to work on this.
Yeah, he'll be able to work on the trains.
And
like
stuff.
go home to the hotel and work a little bit. And that never
I
happened.
never got to do certain things. I tried on the trains, but yeah, they're a little wibbly wobbly while you're trying to draw and stuff. So yeah, it was tough, but
yeah, there's got to be a separation at some point, right?
Totally. Yeah, and then as soon as we got back, it was that's when everything crazy started to happen. So we were gearing up for stuff. So we like literally got back, and it was right back into it. So
you guys,
it's good though.
The grind don't stop.
It never stops.
I actually had a thought. I was sort of kicking myself the other day when I realized that Star Wars Day was on Monday, and I didn't have you guys on.
We would have dressed up for sure.
I would have totally dressed up.
Oh man, we would have put on a lightsaber fight.
So I haven't actually seen you guys since episode 9 came out, and I wanted to hear your thoughts. A very controversial motion picture.
So going through the new movies, they're all kind of different. Each trilogy type thing is different. I really hated The Last Jedi.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
First Star Wars movie I ever walked out of that I was like, no, like, and I've never walked out. So the new one, for me, I thought was just trying to fix the mistakes. And I think it kind of made it a little disjointed. But that being said, I didn't mind it at all. It's not my favorite Star Wars, but I don't think it's in the worst one.
We've decided that if we go back and watch again, we'll just do, we'll skip 7 and just do 8 to 9. And forget about it. Because it kind of redeemed itself. It was a good little, I don't know.
Yeah, there's things in there. I think it's hard to... Oh, you got the dog through here.
Hey!
I think it's hard too because we have looked at all the other Star Wars old canon that's not relevant now with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely, I think, better, the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to pull some things from that, but it didn't bring it in right. So I think that's the hard part is there's things that are happening, like the clone part of it, cloning Palpatine, is something that's happened
Are you doing spoilers?
in the old. Oh yeah, I guess I am doing spoilers.
Dang it!
We saw how much.
If you haven't seen it yet, it's sorry.
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
your fault.
But yeah, so there are things that are back there that they tried to bring in. I think it just, like I said, it's not right. It's just not quite the right story to bring it in.
Okay.
So yeah,
I think that's a fair assessment.
yeah.
There was a lot of moments in that last film that just made me want to pull my hair out, as you can
Yeah.
It all happened then, hey?
Yep.
It was all that movie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard. It's I think that with Star Wars, it's the new movies are different, and they've definitely changed some things with them. But it's it's a certain bit of an open mind going into them. And I want to see some other things like The Mandalorian was amazing, incredible.
Yeah, it's not like the machine is going to stop chugging along. Like
no,
Disney's
and there'll be good things coming out, and I mean, not everything can be absolutely amazing. So,
Callie's actually saying in the comments that the animated ones have all the heart of the original.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't watched Clone Wars yet, like the new series of it. I guess continuation of it, because I'm waiting for it to all come out. But I've gone back and watched some of. I actually really like Rebels. It's a little more for kids, but it's got some things in it that are absolutely amazing. Bits and pieces of it that are like, it's got things with old toys. So I sort of threw a ball to the dog and it went under the couch. And he's gonna get mad. But yeah, there's things in it with that I remember as a kid that were toys that came out that were never in the actual Star Wars movies, but they put them in Rebels. And there's lots of little touches with things that I think if you were a fan from before, they've kind of added back in. So there's some neat things, and you even see it in the new movies. You see the ships from Rebels and stuff like this that are in the new movies, like Rogue One, which I love.
Right.
It has ships from it. So yeah, there's definitely things. There's tie-ins and things from the new stuff to the a little bit older and putting it all together. So there's a lot they can do with it still. And, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right on. Excuse me. So how's Ollie doing? You guys mentioned that the first thing you do in the morning is take him for a walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's great actually. He hasn't been an easy dog in the least bit. So he's going to turn. He's a boxer, if anybody doesn't know. And boxers are notorious for being puppies until their very last day. So he is going to turn 5 in December.
Oh, and there's Honor.
And yeah, this is our cat
Family
Casey.
affair. Amazing.
Yeah. But he's doing really good actually. So this is like the time of the year where we start to get a little nervous because it's allergy season.
Yeah.
And he's notorious for breaking out in like toonie-sized hives all over his body. So we're really hoping that we can avoid that so we don't have to worry about rushing him to a vet.
Yeah.
We're stocked up on Benadryl to stuff him full of it if it needs be. But no, he's great. He's so much fun to have around, and he definitely adds some humor to our everyday.
Yeah, he's something else.
I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that dogs could take Benadryl.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he needs it. We've had him rushed into vets and things like this, and it's
the quote from the vet was that leave it to a boxer to come in with the worst case of hives I've ever seen and still be as happy as he possibly can be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ollie. Much love to Ollie. So how otherwise, like, has anything changed for you guys in the day-to-day during this quarantine?
For me personally, I've always, gone into the studio in the basement and been working on stuff and come up, 8 hours later, kind of thing. So with that, it's been, it's kind of day to day. It's been the same thing. I think the thing that I'm missing right now is, just going out and meeting some friends at the pub, having a beer and kind of catching up. And you can do certain things, but as far as like day to day stuff, the only thing that's different for me is when I do go to be like a grocery shop. So we're doing that about once a week, and that's been a little bit different for me because that's it's definitely a change.
And the no shows this spring.
And no shows.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like honestly, it's a show family, and you really we're really starting to notice how much we value all of these little interactions, and like seeing your booth neighbors and the people that you saw just like 4 months ago, because it's a fast turnaround from Christmas to spring, but still, you really miss all those people, and you start to really realize how important those relationships are. And I think that's the hardest part is how those relationships have definitely had to adjust. It's been that's the hardest part.
And it's been nice. I've had a couple of texts and things from some of the people that from the shows, and you just get to know doing shows. Just to see how you're doing, and you kind of keep in contact, which is really nice because it's not always that I always text people and stuff like that, but it's nice to start doing that and start kind of keeping in contact a little more with some of those people. It's been really nice.
For sure. I remember the text you sent me to check in on me, and I appreciate that, Blair.
It's been nice to do that. Like it means a little something just to be able to just, hey, how's it going?
For sure.
To know everybody's there.
Yeah. That's why we do this show after all.
Totally.
Do you guys remember your first butter domes?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What was
that like? So Butterdome is one of those shows that, like, as soon as you start in the craft market, you are told about, like, oh, have you tried to apply for the Butterdome? And you're like, oh my God, I can't do that. It's just like, I'm just small beans. And then you like work up the years of courage to apply for it, and you finally get there. And I gotta say, getting in that parking lot, like that little alleyway, is probably the most stressful time. And once you finally like unload your car, it's all good after that. Yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment. I'm sure Kenzie and Francine agree.
Yeah, I'm sure.
When are you guys going surfing in Tofino next?
It's so funny. Like we absolutely adore the coast. Like there's something so special about the West Coast. But after traveling Europe a few times, we've kind of had to adjust what our expectations are, and so Tofino is always going to be one of our absolute favorite surf spots. And who knows what's going to happen with the current traveling climate. But before all this hit, we were actually talking about maybe surfing in France. There's this really great spot. Our last trip to Scotland, we took the train from London all the way to Edinburgh.
Oh.
And along the way, like all these, you could see all these breaks happening. So we think we'd like to have a surf trip there someday.
We looked while we were in Barcelona, and the waves one day were just ridiculous.
So 40-year storm. Yeah. The waves were like ridiculous.
Wow.
And then the next day it was flatter than a pancake. No. So we got kind of skunked in Barcelona.
Yeah, because we totally would have gone there.
Yeah, we would have gone, but...
Well, I will check in with my people in Scotland to find out the good surf spots for you.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Yeah, I follow a couple things on Instagram and stuff like that, and there's definitely places up there, so...
Yeah. Blair, I know you have a background in graffiti, right?
Totally.
Did you happen to see the new Banksy?
Yes, I did. I thought it was awesome.
How brilliant was that?
It's funny because there's a lot of stuff with certain graffiti artists that I really love and different styles of things. And I really think some of the things that Banksy does is awesome.
Yeah.
And
do you have a favorite
the new one I saw was, you know what? I don't know if I do. Speaking of that, when we were in London, I always look up where they are and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And we were by Portobello Road to see some, but there's a gallery up there that we go into on Portobello Road, I think it's called the Graphic Gallery, and it is a graffiti gallery. And they had Banksies and stuff in there, with things. He's got pieces around the corner in the market area, and the little gallery has a little space in the back that they do classes
they're teaching people how.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
I think we were in there for just fair amount.
Yeah, it's a really, really small space, but we were in there for an hour for sure.
Yeah.
Smelling all the fumes and checking out.
Bringing back memories for Blair.
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying bringing back memories for Blair.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sometimes. There he is. Come on.
Well, hello, sir.
All right, you gotta sit down.
Okay.
I'll get him down here.
Baron with Natasha and then Ollie here.
Yeah, to the people watching, send in your questions for Ollie now.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
He's an agility pro. We were asked if he wanted to go pro, but we don't have time for that.
No.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. Let's take a look at some questions that were sent in.
Absolutely.
There were two of the same, so I'll just pull one up here. So, what is your favorite character that you make, or your favorite mug?
For me, my favorite mug is I love making tikis and stuff. But I have to say, right now has been monsters. The 3D monsters have been just a blast. Yeah, I love doing them because you can still do different faces and things like that, right? And have a little creativity. That's definitely been my favorite ones to do. So.
Nice.
Yeah, they're the best ones to color too. Like to experiment with all the color choices. It's probably one of my funnest as well.
Cool. Well, that's a perfect segue to the next question. What is your current favorite tiki drink?
So
Blair makes this amazing cocktail, and everybody loves it.
It's not really a tiki drink, but it's just like a cocktail. I call it the sip. It's all it's like sip, like from Star Wars, and it's all just like this dark red cocktail. It's got like cherry and cranberry and like amaretto and stuff in it. It
tastes like
red lifesavers. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, but my favorite tiki cocktail though has always been a Mai Tai.
Yeah,
I love Mai Tai.
Classic.
Yeah.
We're having two very familiar and special guests on the show tomorrow that'll be making drinks. So
nice.
Stay tuned for that.
Awesome.
Are you going to make some on your end?
You never know what's going to be in this mug. I'll just keep it at that.
Awesome.
So in terms of your work, I really loved the post the other day that was showing the process behind the tentacles and why it was so labor intensive and why you had to, do away with it. As a whole, like, how has your work evolved over the years, and where do you see it going next? You mentioned the t-shirts earlier, but in terms of pottery.
So pottery-wise, we started off with a lot of drawn images,
like this one.
Yeah. So the monsters, everything would be drawn on. We'd still throw the mugs and do all that and hand draw everything. And then it just started to morph into a 3D. And we've gone that direction. And even now with 3D, it's morphed again. It's gotten a lot more. Like if you look between a whale mug and a dragon, they're drastically different with more pieces and things. And we're starting to figure out a little bit different way of making
much more detail and expression to them.
Yeah.
I think that we always say that we have a long list of animals to get to, and one day we'll make them all. So in terms of pottery, that's our goal. Is one day we'll have all the animals made.
Oh, I love that. Can you give us a sneak peek at what's next, or is that?
You know what? Just a second.
So nothing's final. Like literally, this happened yesterday.
This literally happened yesterday.
But it's always things that are going on in our head.
So it just sketches 4 mugs.
Cool.
So yeah, it's just trying to figure out designs, and I was sitting upstairs and I'm like, I'm gonna see what I can do. So these are literally ones that we've been talking about, trying to figure out things. So
well, thank you for that exclusive.
It's not much, but I still have to draw them out. Like I usually draw it out on the iPad afterwards and figure out colors and things like that. So, but yeah,
get the right shape.
What was the transition like, Blair, for from like sketching in a sketchbook to the iPad? Because it seems like that's we do all your sketches now.
It's amazing. I waited forever to find to have a program that and with the iPad that would have no lag when you draw on something.
Right.
And I would go into the Apple store and I would check on things and I'd draw with one and I'm like, no, it's not working right. And I started off with a bamboo tablet where you draw flat and it would come up on your screen. So it was kind of weird to be looking here, and not seeing what you're drawing. But once they developed it with an iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil, I think it was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, we pulled the trigger about 2 years ago.
It's incredible. Truthfully, there's really not a lot of difference.
Wow.
So as you're drawing, the pressure on the pencils, the different brushes that you can use and all that stuff, there's really not a heck of a lot of difference with drawing on paper versus the iPad now, which has been amazing. And what the other stuff that you can do on the iPad, it just expands what you can do with a pencil, and it won't stop me from sketching. Like I'll always, if I got a pen or pencil there, and draw something. But it's unlimited now when you see it with what you can do on with a digital.
Yeah, I don't know if many people know. Like Blair is much older than he looks, and he is from a generation where computers didn't exist for most of his school career.
I'm so analog.
And so the fact that he is so amazing on this program is like, I'm very proud of him. He is incredible on it. He the things that he makes is pretty great. Yeah.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Right. And on the flip side, Sarah, I want to commend you for running a beautiful Instagram page.
Oh, thank you.
Your posts are always so engaging with your captions and the content itself. Like I'm just looking at it now. How instrumental has Instagram been for the success of your business? And
social media is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you stay on top of Instagram trends and keeping content fresh?
So I've been asked this question a lot lately, so it's been on my mind. So thank you for asking, because I'm kind of prepared.
Nice.
You kind of have to view social media as a relationship, because really, we're engaging with whoever is on the other side. And one of the important things that I try to remember every day is that Blair when I make a post, it is going to be personal. It is going to be stories about us. I'm really not going to post anything just for the sake of being like, hey, I'm really trying to foster the relationship between me and who's ever reading. And we have definitely gained so many friendships and so many lovely relationships on the other side of the screen because we share this. So I try and be present every day. I don't know if you guys know this either, but Blair has started his own Instagram page called Horizon and Tide, where he is posting his illustrations. So we've been talking a lot about this, and I've been trying to encourage him to post on a regular basis, because if you think about the relationship that you're building, if you really want to make it successful, you don't just show up for a relationship once every couple weeks. You put in the time and the effort, and the relationships that are important are the ones that are worth all that time and your honesty and your thoughtfulness. So I always try and put that in there.
Absolutely, beautifully said. How have you been enjoying that new account, Blair?
So that's one of the things. Sarah's amazing with the social media. I don't know how she does it. Absolutely incredible. And it's funny because when I'm really not the greatest on stuff like that, and she's kind of been encouraging me and showing me some things. And it's funny, I'll do a post and I'll be like, oh yeah, I got this. And then she'll just literally, I agonize with hashtags and things.
Yeah.
And she just
everybody does
within 2 minutes, she's got another double the hashtags I have that are all totally different. I'm like,
and that's just practice. It's because you get into that mindset, and anything you do, the more you work at it and the more you practice it, the better it gets. So
I'm just lucky I got somebody who knows how to do this amazingly, and yeah, it's great to have her next to me if I have any questions or anything like that, which I always do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, combined between the two of you, you guys must have like, what, 5 or 6 Instagram accounts that you're managing?
Yeah, I think that we're about there.
And you can totally tell the ones that we work on more.
Yeah.
Like my personal page has like, I feel like 7 posts total.
Right.
I think mine had one from Valentine's Day. Like I posted when we were on our trip.
Yeah.
Then I had one from Valentine's Day, and then I literally just did one for May the 4th.
Nice.
On my personal account. So yeah, my personal account is kind of last.
Yeah, if I get one post a month off on my personal account, then I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
But anything
totally.
more than that feels weird. Anything less than that, I'm just sweating.
Yeah,
I'm lucky to have the signatures account to sort of keep me sane on the day to day.
Live vicariously through.
Yeah, totally.
So how long have you guys been married now and together?
It's been 8 years now.
So I'm always wrong. Blair's always the one that remembers.
Yeah.
So Blair and I met going to ACAD officially in 2001. So we became instant friends. Like immediately, like we always had good times together.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very small program. And
Ollie loves when you tell this story.
So it was a very small program. So you're going to spend 4 years with these people. So like dating never really occurred to us.
Yeah.
And after graduating, we got together as a couple in 2007 and got married in 2011.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did it.
I did it.
Nice.
Well,
so next year will be a big milestone for you guys.
Totally.
Yeah, I better remember.
It's funny. It's the one thing with I don't know why I remember those dates. I can't remember anything else.
We have this really nice poster on our wall that I was like so proud of myself that I was going to get Blair this poster. It's called the Night Sky. So it's a poster of the constellations in the sky of where you are. Well, where we got married. So I chose the date of our wedding and in Tofino because that's where we got married.
Oh, nice.
But I got the date wrong. And we have a poster on the wall.
The day before, so, but it's technically.
Nice one. What's it like? You guys probably get this question a lot, but what's it like running a business together as a married couple, like especially a home business? How do you navigate that?
You know what? It's amazing. Every day I get to spend with her, and it's absolutely incredible. If she's upstairs and working on something, and I'm in the basement, I still want to get upstairs and see her, and I miss seeing her. We work together really well.
Yeah, this doesn't happen without the both. A nice moment, Ron. Anyway, this doesn't happen without the two of us, and we are so very fortunate and so very lucky that we found each other. And honestly, we spend 24 hours a day together, and it's not enough. Like if we're in separate rooms working, it definitely feels like not enough.
Yeah, totally.
See, my intro was warranted. You guys are both. I love it.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I think that about does it for my questions. And I really thank you guys for your time.
Oh,
anytime.
Yeah, because I know how busy it is in the studio. So for the people out there that want to continue supporting Salty Sea Dog, how do they go about doing that?
You can always follow the link in our bio to our Etsy shop. We try and list as many items regularly as we possibly can. So if you are following us on any social media like Facebook and Instagram, we're posting all the time of the items that are coming out. So yeah, you can shop all the time at saltyseadogdesigns.com. And we have a few stores around that hopefully you can order from. You can do the Raven's Room. You can do Lovecraft in Tofino. Yeah, there's any small shop right now. Please support because they're really needing it. Our community is definitely feeling feeling all this. So
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big shout out to all the Canadian makers out there.
yeah,
we
hats
just
off
got
to you all.
a question in from Ken Kaminsky. He's asking,
Hey.
Blair, if you could combine 3 animals and make them fight, which would you choose?
He knows.
He knows the answer.
Oh yeah.
So it's a flying poisonous bear, of course. But me and Ken were set up at a show. I think it was at Butterdome, and I used to have this thing with a guy, a friend of mine I used to work with, and we would try and pick the most dominant animal in the world, but you could mix them with 3 animals. And you have to kind of think about it. It sounds like it'd be easy, but you have to actually think about it because you can counter certain things. So set up at a show, I was talking to Ken about it, and it literally took up like all of our time at the show.
Shocking.
And we would just keep looking back, like open the curtain and talk back and forth, and like, what about this? What about that? And we had to come up with animals and think of it. You get him to tell you what his is too. Yeah,
Okay.
like he's got stuff. He's got animals that he figured out, and I think his is actually pretty good.
But Blair's flying poisonous bear.
Yeah.
And he's known that for years.
Yeah.
Hands down, that's his answer.
So the only thing before was a fire-breathing pig with a cobra tail, and that was close, right? Because you can't come in from behind because of the cobra tail. You can't come from the front because it's fire-breathing, and it's super fast because it's a pig, so you can't catch it.
And smart. Pigs are smart.
It's smart, yeah.
Okay.
So there's all these things, like there's more to it all than, yeah.
I want a sketch of that for our next interview.
Done. It'll haunt your dreams.
Great. Okay, and the question I love to ask our guests to close out the show, our reoccurring segment. In life, in art, and in your heart of hearts, Blair and Sarah, what is your signature?
We always say that we can make anything with our medium, but the most important thing we can make is smiles. So yeah, that's the most important. Make people smile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. And I have not stopped smiling since we started this interview, so thank you to you guys for bringing the
Awesome.
positive energy.
Thank you.
Well, it was great seeing you guys on this video chat, and hopefully we'll see you face to face in the fall.
Yes,
awesome.
please.
Fingers crossed.
Awesome.
And
okay,
hey,
have a good day, everyone.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll hit you guys for sure.
Awesome.
So send my regards to Ollie. I know he's there.
Hello. He's still hiding here.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks. We'll see ya.
Bye.